The first point's actually not up here. I was going to get Adil to core CBA for me. So we've got obviously 5. Preparation, plan, strategy, choose your words, listen, be authentic, integrity, do what you say, and openness. Preparation, plan, strategy. Don't just pick up the phone and just call someone nilly-willy. It's more about who I'm going to call, what am I going to talk about, and have a thing in your mind, or almost a plan in your mind of how the conversation is going to go as well. So that's the first one. Choose your words wisely, I suppose. I think one was the first thing is stop calling it. Start calling it the start of conversation rather than cold calling. I think straight away in my head, I'm thinking it's not a fear thing straight away. I'm going to start a conversation with someone, which I can do, on the street and what have you. But sometimes when you pick up the phone, it's a little bit harder. Listen rather than speak. I think that's a really big, powerful one. I've learnt that in my past life as well. I don't use it that well because my mouth talks a lot very, very fast. What do they say? They say you got one mouth and 2 ears. Use that wisely. And I think that's everyone needs to basically listen to that. Be authentic, integrity, and do what you say. This is a really big one in what I do. I get appointments set for me by an external provider, and it works really well. But then it's all about the follow-up and the follow-up and the follow-up that I have with people. If I'm going to say that I'm going to call you or we're going to have a meeting at such and such time, I always make sure that I call them on that time or on that day, because if I'm a day late or what have you, and the other people are smart enough and they go, you know what, you actually didn't call me when you're supposed to call me, I've lost that sale. And then openness. Openness is a really big thing, I think, for everyone. I think, Adil, you were saying about, if you're having a coffee or waiting for a coffee, talk to the person next to you. I think that's a big thing, and I've got a great story about that, which I was sharing with the group before. I do a little bit of travelling. Went down to Melbourne. I always like the window seat, and whenever I sit there, and if someone else comes in, I always say hello. And if they reciprocate with a hello, it's more than likely it's going to open some type of conversation up. And with this person that came on board, he sat with me and I said hello, he said hello, and we had a conversation all the way down to Melbourne. Turns out he was a project manager for Guzman y Gomez, that he built new stores, perfectly up my alley. And I didn't want the new store builds, I wanted more the maintenance side. I asked who did the maintenance side. They were looking for sort of someone at that moment, and throughout that conversation we swapped numbers. He told me who to contact when I come back to Sydney, and now we're doing work for Guzman y Gomez.
Wow.
Boom. So it's
amazing.
just to say hello.
You've got a captive audience.
You've got a captive audience. You're there for...
Can't leave.
Yeah, exactly. So that's us.
That's brilliant.
And can I